Arcturian group, the human heart is able to understand the attributes of the divine. October 23, 2016. By Marilyn Raffaele. Webpage, www.onenessofall.com. Dear ones, we see many still experiencing confusion with regard to world conditions. Know that what you are witnessing in these turbulent times is the emerging of old energies long suppressed and hidden, in need of exposure in order to be observed, evaluated, and changed. Never fear to look right at any appearance, not hiding from it or pretending not to notice, but instead realizing it to be the material sense of a spiritual universe, pictures formed of the beliefs of duality and separation, impersonal, and without spiritual law, hold them in place. Never deny or fear the emotions that may arise, but realize that today is a new time in which you are not the same you of even 1 year ago, having attained a level of consciousness now able to reinterpret world appearances, and recognize the ever-present underlying spiritual reality. The temptation for the majority is to become a part of current consensus consciousness, for being part of a group allows the individual to feel that they are accepted, and there is a sense of love being part of a group. Most of you are now able to see and act outside of the consensus consciousness, which is how the world will change, and gradually dissolve appearances reflective of duality separation. This is the work. We wish again to speak of love, for love is the foundation of all things, which when understood and practiced in its truest sense, flows in and through every aspect of daily life, no matter how seemingly ordinary. Once love becomes your attained state of consciousness, you begin to automatically perceive the world and all that is in it, from a whole new perspective, which then allows many formerly accepted concepts and beliefs to fall away. Love is oneness, and thus the connecting link between all things, humans, plants, animals, nature, spirits, elementals, etc. Even rocks have consciousness of a sort. There is nothing not made of the one and only substance, divine consciousness. Spiritual ideas within the one divine consciousness are interpreted according to an individual's state of consciousness. If that consciousness holds strong beliefs in duality and separation, this is how their outer world will manifest, but that never changes the reality of the divine idea. As consciousness evolves, interpretations evolve. Horse and buggy used to represent the divine idea of omnipresence, but now there are planes, high-tech automobiles, and much better modes of transportation which will continue to evolve. The star people have interpretations of omnipresence, modes of transportation, way beyond what the human mind can conceive of at this point in their evolution. As you come to understand the truth of one manifesting itself as the many, you must also come to understand and accept that therefore there can only be one power. God alone is power. In order to attain and begin to practice a consciousness of one power, an individual must first examine his concepts of God. God is a word that represents the idea of an allness of all that is, but any word you choose will suffice because the finite human mind is simply not capable of understanding that which is infinite. It, God, fiddlesticks, or whatever you wish to call it, can only be experienced. The human mind is able to understand the attributes of the divine, qualities forever held in place by divine law and expressing outwardly as peace, joy, completeness, wholeness, abundance, harmony, etc. These constitute the essence of the one self-sustained, self-maintained something, and since there is only one of this something, all that it embodies has to be the only reality. Mankind, unaware of truth and experiencing a world of duality and separation throughout many lifetimes, has come to accept a power for good or bad with regard to any and all outer appearances. It is time to move into a consciousness of one power. God alone is power, must become the inner response to every situation, be it physical, emotional, or mental. The divine and all facets thereof must come to be seen and accepted as reality and thus the only power. Where is this power? It is my very selfhood, the I that I really am, the I that formed and maintains this body I use. The I that which beats the heart and draws to me what I need when I need it. The I that I am manifests as guidance and comforts me in crisis, for it is complete and whole, needing nothing. God alone is power. You are ready now to live, move, and have your being in a consciousness that knows that every quality of divine consciousness is also embodied within every individual expression of that divine consciousness. It is the I am. This is what the Master Jesus meant when he said, I of my own self can do nothing, or greater works than these you will do. He never purported himself to be the only Son of God, but an ignorant world seeking power outside of itself has declared Jesus to be the only Son of God. God alone is power. Let this become the mantra with which you meet every experience throughout the day. An attained consciousness of one power is a healing consciousness, for it recognizes no power in disease. It is the peacemaker, for it knows only the one, appearing as the many. Those who have attained a consciousness of one power are able to allow the world around them to crumble in the realization that it can never touch the reality. Begin to practice God alone is power in every seemingly small event of daily living. You have a sore knee, bring to mind the fact that God could not express itself as pain, for that would be duality within the one, that is infinitely complete and whole. Pain in all its forms reflects an impersonal belief in a self apart from God. God alone is power, then take whatever human footsteps you may be guided to take. Your realization of God as the only power opens the door for divine completeness to manifest as whatever the best solution may be for you. The process of withdrawing power from all appearances, no matter how horrendous, is a necessary step in everyone's evolutionary journey, but one you are now ready for. There will always be difficulties while living in a world that still supports a three-dimensional belief system, but you now have the tools with which to meet them on a higher level. Disasters happen to evolved individuals because, 1. They are a chosen part of the person's life plan to help awaken others, or 2. To bring about a deeper realization of some truth necessary for their own spiritual growth. Evolved souls do not live lives of random events formed from the energies of duality and separation, much as the unawakened do, but must learn to look for truths hidden in difficult life events. There comes a point of choice in every spiritual seeker's journey when he realizes he cannot worship both God and man. Free will allows everyone to take as long as they wish, but most of you are recognizing that the time has come for you to step into living your truth. A time to step away from assigning power to three-dimensional concepts, be they personal or global, and irregardless of whether they appear good or bad. Realize that good appearances are just as illusory as the bad ones, and that God alone is power. Those who keep themselves plugged into technology in all its forms 24/7, or never take time to be silent, simply will not hear the still small voice within, and thus continue to deny and reject the idea of there being a still, small voice. Those around you will not know exactly what has changed, but will notice that you have become quieter, more centered, and less reactive. At this point you will probably find others coming to you for advice, drawn by your energy of peace, which is what they seek. This is when the spiritual work begins and you become light workers in every activity of work, play, relationships, duties, etc. Many so-called religious teachings taught that the ordinary world was not spiritual, and must be left behind if one was to become holy. Thus were born the monasteries and convents of all religions. There was a time when these places were the only places where peace, solitude, and spiritual seeking could take place without struggle, but because everyone takes their state of consciousness with them, many convents and monasteries devolved into places of dogma, structure, rules, and misinformation. However, many of today's convents and monasteries are serving to provide a flow of light and love to the world through the evolved consciousness of those members who understand and practice deeper levels of truth. It is a new day, a new time, and the spiritual life must be lived in the world but not of it. Life on earth must no longer be separated into the profane versus the spiritual, for that is old, false, and misleading energy of the past. There is only one power, one reality, one law, one cause, one effect, and that one is you. We are the Arcturian group.